For most Australians, selling their home is the best opportunity they'll have to make a tax-free capital gain and really build their wealth.
If you are here to bid today, you are required to be registered. May we get a bid or offer to get us up and running here this morning.
But why is it that similar houses in the same area can sell for vastly different prices and some people make more money than others? Let's find out. My name's Tom Panos and I've spent the last 30 years helping people sell their homes for the highest price they can. I found the vendors that do the best are the ones who understand the process and can approach their sales and marketing with confidence. This confidence comes with experience, but if you're like most Australians who only ever sell 2 or 3 houses, then keep watching because successful vendors, along with independent experts in research, interior design and marketing, will all help you sell your home for what it's worth.
I'm really happy with that result because when I got to the property, the real estate agent said to me that they're really close friends of his and they really wanted to get a good result, and he got one. They would have been over the moon if they just, got to 700, but getting over 700, they're really happy.
With the market being quite strong, or reportedly quite strong, with their clearance rates are quite high, then auctioning was the best strategy, I think, and it worked well for us.
Whoever bought it, I didn't get to meet the buyers, are going to be pretty happy because it's one of the suburbs in the marketplace that seems to have outperformed.
I used to live in Balmain when I first rented here, and I lived on Birchgrove Road, so I've always loved Balmain. It's a beautiful area, close to the city. It's got everything you could wish for, really. I'm very, very happy to get it, really.
Essentially, people buy with their hearts and confirm their decisions with their brains. So with that in mind, you've always got to say, how do I get people excited about this property? How do I get people to really feel connected and really feel at home with this property? The home I'm about to auction is an inner city warehouse conversion that's owned by Peter Cornish, a retired headmaster. He's done everything right. Researched the market to establish his price, chosen a good agent, presented the property well, and advertised it to a broad range of potential buyers using newspapers, magazines, online, and signage. Let's see how he does.
The house itself, 3 bedrooms. Very good facilities, 1 car parking space, well looked after, and of course from our point of view we bought it as a family home. So that's where we've come from with it. We found it by accident. We were looking at other properties and just saw the sign, came along, and we bought the property. We advertised it. We agreed a campaign with the real estate agent who's dealing with it for us, and said, please sign off if you agree with this. Trying to make sure that people on, if I can put it this way, on the outer edges also know that there's a property they could move into in the CBD. Secondly, to make sure that I was confident that we had actually done the most we could to make sure people knew to come through and have a look at it, absolutely. So yes, it was advertised very widely.
I'm often asked by people in the workplace or in social environments, what's the best way to buy at auction? What's the strategy? Should you go in and put in a really hard bid right at the start, or should you hold off till you hear the auctioneer suggest that the property's going to sell?
And most importantly, buyers, it is that unique structure of this property, true warehouse living. It's got everything going for it, and the airport not too far away. Bid with confidence, buyers. Bid with confidence.
And after years and years of auction, I still don't think that there's one clear strategy that's going to win. There are so many variables. You don't know what levels the other bidders are at. But I do think it helps to be a positive bidder, to create the perception to your competitive bidders that you're going to buy this property regardless.
At $1,091,000, third final call. You all done? You all signed?
It was something like 100,000 above reserve.
This property sold for $1,090,000, which was $141,000 above the reserve price. To get this result, the vendor invested $8,000 in marketing and $6,000 in styling and furniture hire. Put another way, Peter Cornish put $14,000 in and got $141,000 out.
Without styling it and without the preparation of it, we wouldn't have achieved that result. So yes, it's gone very well from beginning to end, in fact, as at today.
There's a belief that the best agents use a formula that goes: a world record price equals world-class marketing, plus world-class negotiation, plus emotional connection and competitive bidding.
Hi, Gil.
One man who used this formula to build up and sell a very successful real estate business is Gil Davies. He's recently applied robust statistical science to the question of where and how people should advertise to get the best price for the property they're selling.
So, Gil, why do we advertise and how do we go about it?
Basically, we use the statistical technique known as reversionary analysis, which allows one to isolate back to the one factor that we're looking for. In this case, what is the effect of advertising on the final selling price?
It sounds pretty technical. At the end of the day, Gil, what did the research clearly show and demonstrate?
The bottom line is that a combination of advertising in print and on the internet definitely gets the highest price. To put a monetary value on it, if you spend about $4,000 advertising the average property, you're going to get about $10,000 back. And that roughly 1% increase across the board applies in 99% of the cases. So it's without doubt that that combination of advertising works better than either single medium. I found that most people don't understand how advertising works. They work on the basis of what they've heard from somebody else or their own experience. But as an agent selling properties, you rapidly learn what does and doesn't work. I think the most important thing is that, of course, there are any number of buyers out there who might be interested in a property, but they are only going to be attracted in specific ways. A couple of buyers might come from the internet. A couple of buyers might come from local advertising in newspapers. Another one might come from a signboard. Someone else might be referred to the property by somebody who knows it. Now, if you cut out any of those people, if you decided not to use the internet, for instance, then instead of having 6 potential buyers for the property, you'd only have 4. If you decided not to use the newspapers in your advertising, that might cut out another 3 buyers. So it becomes not only progressively more difficult to get the right price for it, but it becomes difficult even to sell the property at all. And my analogy to this would be fishing in a sea or fishing in a puddle. When you first start the marketing, the property is new to the market. It's exciting. If people are looking for a property like that, they'll come and they'll have a look at it. If you don't get those people to come then, or if you lose them, or if the marketing campaign drags on, it becomes progressively more and more difficult to attract people to the property at all. So instead of fishing in that sea, you're now fishing in a puddle.
So what would you say to the vendor out there who wants to save $1 and say, I'm just going to put it on the internet for a few weeks and see how it goes?
You would be much better off doing all of the advertising all at once and just doing it for a short period of time, because you will attract all of those buyers. You'll see who's out there, you'll get the competition, you'll get the better price, and you'll actually save in not having to do drip feed advertising for weeks or months down the track. By adopting these methods, I had all properties sold in less than a month, and my average was just slightly over 2 weeks. So I can say hand on heart that I was saving my vendors money as well as getting them more dollars for their properties.
There are hundreds of thousands of properties sitting on real estate web portals, but when a buyer sees a property advertised in print, they know the vendor isn't just testing